Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Campbell City Council for Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. And I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Hines.
Present.
Councilmember Scazola.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bybee. Present. Mayor Furtado.
Here. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that you please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no special presentations or proclamations, and we have no communications or petitions. So now, under item number 5, we move to oral requests. This would be the time on the agenda for anyone to address the council on any item not on tonight's agenda. Are there any oral requests? Okay, we have none online. Okay, so there are no oral requests. So we now move to council announcements, I should say. So there are several announcements here. First of all, that the city offices will be closed on Monday, September 7th in the observance of Labor Day. Police and emergency services, of course, will remain open to the public. Secondly, I'd like to invite everyone to the City of Campbell's annual State of the City address. Please join me and my colleagues on the City Council as we share updates on our community, highlight the city's accomplishments over this past year, and discuss the opportunities and priorities that lie ahead. The State of the City address will be held in the Orchard City Banquet Hall on Wednesday, September 16th. Doors will open at 6 o'clock with the program beginning at 6:30. And it's not required, but we do ask that you RSVP by Wednesday, September 2nd, to the following email address, mayorstateofthecity@campbellca.gov. The next announcement is we invite you to get involved in your community. Are you passionate about making a difference to Campbell? Explore opportunities to serve on one of our boards or commissions. To find out more, please contact the city clerk's office at clerksoffice@campbellca.gov, or you can call the office at 408-866-2117. We invite you to register for the California Coastal Cleanup Day at Campbell Park. That will be held on Saturday, September the 19th from 9 to noon. And more information can be found on Clean A Creek, CLEANA creek.org.
And Mayor, I'll be hosting that, and I invite everybody to come out and talk some trash with me.
Thank you. The next announcement is that Groovin' in the Garden, a 70s flashback, will be held on Saturday, September 26th from 6 to 9 at the Ainsley House. This is a fundraiser for the Campbell Museums. You may visit the website campbellmuseums.com. And everyone should be reminded that we are now back to school, which also means increased safety when approaching schools and on all roads in the city. It also means sharing the road. As the school year begins again this fall, please remember to keep an eye out for young children who are walking or bicycling to school. Pay attention to school zones, avoid distractions, stay alert, take extra precautions when you're behind or approaching a school bus, and remember to be prepared to stop for traffic and motorists making sudden stops. And remember, school buses with flashing red lights are requiring a stop until they go off. If you'd like to do your part to help improve traffic safety for our young students, consider serving as a volunteer at your child's school. Help make our schools safe places to walk or bike. I would also like to announce that we are proud and like to congratulate our police department It was recently honored as the 2026 FBI National Academy Associates California Chapter of the Year. Congratulations, Chief and Captain White, and please offer our congratulations to your colleagues and members of the department. Thank you. Those are the announcements. So now the council will move to the consent calendar. These are items 7.1 to 7.5 on tonight's agenda that the council will take as a single item of business unless a member of the city council, a member of the staff, or a member of the public would like us to pull an item for further discussion. Does anyone request to pull an item for further discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to pull 7.2.
7.2.
Approving bills and claims.
Okay. If there's no other requests, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent calendar items 7.1 and then items 7.3 through 7.5.
I propose a motion to approve 7.1s and then 7.3, 7.4, 7.5.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar except for item 7.2. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee. Aye. Mayor Furtado.
Aye. We now move to 7.2. This is the approving of bills, of the payment of bills and claims in the amount of $3,599,705.93. Council Member Hines.
Yeah, I would choose not to accept the July 1st $200,000 payment to San Jose. That's a payment that is made on behalf of the Cambrian annexation. It's budget number 101.540.7458. There are no services provided from this payment. We've made 10 payments to date, and which is a matter of $2 million for no services. And there's 30 more payments that are due. It's going to make another $6 million for no payment. The majority of this is paid for by the CFD1 tax. Which that tax should go to the public works efforts within Campbell Village. And with that, and because of that, I'm therefore declining to approve that component of the bill.
Any other comments or a motion?
Well, I'll move that we approve the payment of bills and claims as presented.
I will second the motion myself. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Nay.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. We now move, well, first of all, I should say, there are no public hearings and introduction of ordinances. So we will move to new business, item number 9, and specifically item 9.1. This is the fiscal year 2025 annual report of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee for Measure O. And I believe our Finance Director, Will Fernandez, Fuentes, pardon me, will introduce this item, and Chair Souza or Vice Chair Saunders, perhaps, will make comments on Measure O.
There. All right. I don't I got a lot other than to I'll say it's a report that the oversight a group that I do each year. They current report. It is to is to go through and uh, 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 confirm and check expenses from FY 25. And Vice Chair Saunders will have also go through the details of that report. And then also I expect that there also will be two two additional reports in the future, and then they will end due to both the bond proceeds and also all interest earned on the bonds expected to be spent down. So I will turn it over to Xavier to give the report. Thank you.
Good evening, council. I didn't expect to be standing here. Yeah, well, I tried to dress not to be on it. Basically, as we review each year, we're kind of a year in arrears, if you will. So we have just finished the year before last. Even though we have just finished the fiscal year 25, 26, we won't see that until hopefully January or February. So as Director Fuentes indicated, we still got to do this a couple more times. But basically, from what I've seen so far, the funds have gone to the contractors, which I've heard the council approve contracts for in proportion to what they were doing. The numbers seem to add up. Any questions?
Appreciate the work of the committee and likewise both reports. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Measure O committee, having sat on that committee for a number of years as well. So just terrific work, and we've got the buildings to show it. So great work.
Likewise, this is really essential for maintaining public trust. So thank you for your service.
I would like to request a motion then to accept the report of the Citizens Oversight Committee for Measure O.
I so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll take a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. We now move to item 9.2, the designation of the voting delegates for the 2026 League of California Cities Annual Conference. The League of California Cities Annual Conference does participate in a number of potential votes at its annual meeting. And so the league meeting this year, the annual conference and business meeting will be held on September 25th. And I would like to ask, first of all, which members of the council intend to go?
I do intend to go if I am selected as the representing the Campbell delegate.
I intend to go as well. I would recommend that someone else be offered to be the voting delegate, but I will be in attendance.
Okay, so Councilmember Hines, will you accept the nomination to be the voting delegate and Councilmember Lopez then to be the alternate?
Yes, I do. And there is a resolution that is going to be presented that is actually a housing oriented, local control oriented resolution that'll have more actually being reviewed by the HCED in late September 17th or so. And should I be agreed to participate in that, I'd welcome feedback from council member relative to that resolution.
I see no comments, so I'll leave it to your judgment to represent the position of the council as you see fit. If we could have a motion then for the delegate and associate delegate or alternate.
I'd like to move that we designate Councilmember Hines to be the voting delegate and Councilmember Lopez to be the alternate at the League of Cities Annual Conference General Business Meeting to be held on September 25th, 2026.
Second the motion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. We now move to item 9.3. This is the resolution amending the first amended agreement for the city clerk services, for city clerk services. And I would like to ask the Assistant City Manager, Angelique Gaeta, to please make the presentation to the council.
Good evening, Council. Yes, this is a resolution amending the first amended agreement for city clerk services. As you would recall, in August of 2022, the city entered into its first agreement with our city clerk, and that was amended in August of 2023. This time we're amending it following an evaluation of the city clerk at the direction of the city council to increase the salary from step 4 to step 5. And thereby update the paragraph in the first amended agreement to provide for that new salary step. This would be effective in the first pay period of this month, August of 2026. And as noted in the staff report, this increase is already fully funded within the fiscal year 2027 adopted budget. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Doesn't appear we have any questions. Thank you. Does anyone from the public wish to speak? I see none. So I would request a motion.
I'll approve the motion. I'll recommend a motion amending the first amended agreement for city clerk services per the merit increase recommended.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you for the service that you provide to the city. We now move to item 9.4. This is a grant acceptance on behalf of the police department, and the presentation of the resolution will be made by the police captain, Ian White.
Can you hear me now? All right. I'll start over. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members. Before you tonight is the acceptance of the California Marijuana Grant Fund Tax, which is a yearly grant that's administered by the California Highway Patrol for traffic safety and DUI specific initiatives. This is the second year now that we have applied for the grant and received funding for equipment and overtime related to DUI enforcement checkpoints and other saturation patrols related to DUI. So this has helped us collaborate with CHP, do quarterly checkpoints as an agency, and funded the equipment surrounding that. So the recommendation from staff is to approve the funding to continue that work. happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Captain. If you could just elaborate how, if there's a specific target that you would have as far as the use, I understand is DUI checkpoints, but how that might be applied in the budget, where you might be applying that, or is it?
Yeah, so when we apply for the grant, we look at there are certain things that the grant only covers. So equipment and overtime, it's very restrictive as to what you can actually apply the funding for. So things like vehicles, cones, traffic, signage, things related to the checkpoint, but outside of that, we can't apply for things outside of those. So we try and keep the grant focused on things that are specifically related to DUI enforcement.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further action, I'll request a motion for approval.
Are you going to open the public hearing?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a public hearing. So I will, first of all, I'll ask if anyone from the public would like to speak on this matter. Don't see any, so I will now ask for a motion.
Couldn't we have some discussion first?
Of course, yes.
So, may I?
Of course, yes.
I just want to make some comments for the record. I was a bit surprised when this report came on the agenda without any prior knowledge of the grant being applied for. And I debated about whether or not to accept it or not, because to me, it's seems somewhat restrictive, and that the vehicle that we will be able to purchase with the grant is really restricted to the use for DUI. It's not part of our ongoing fleet. And there's also ongoing maintenance costs that are going to be borne by the city over the life of the vehicle. And there's no guarantee that we'll be receiving, future grants in the future to continue the funding of this. And the more I thought about it, I'm going to support the staff recommendation, but I want to just ask that in the future that we have a better process for grant applications to ensure consistency and transparency, to make sure that the council's on board with some of the grants that are being applied for, and to ensure that it's a priority of this council of what's being applied for. And with that, and if there's no other discussion, I don't know how the other council members feel about it, but I just feel our grant process needs a little bit of work in coordination and better transparency. So.
Yeah, I'll concur as far as the grant process, but I also want to emphasize that the support of the DUI, in particular DUI checkpoints, is I think a vital part of our responsibility as a city.
I'll pitch in. I feel slightly differently. I appreciate very much the concerns. I think more transparency is always good, but I do trust the judgment recommendation of our officers on this, and I think this is the appropriate time to weigh in if we don't feel it's the appropriate use of funding. So I feel we do get that opportunity. I respect the perspective, however, and I don't think it's a bad thing to have more opportunities for engagement. I just know when grant opportunities come along, sometimes that is scarce funding, and so we want to act and maximize our resources. But I think it's a good use of funding, and this is the opportunity for us to weigh in.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, of course, I love grants. I think we should apply to as many as we can, the ones that work for our city, of course. But I do agree somewhat with Ann that it would be nice to have a list, or like, these are the current targets that we have for these specific grants, because certainly there could be, different council members that might not think that might be best, or there maybe is a better grant, or I just always think more information is better. And I do appreciate staff. I know you guys are always looking for more grants constant, continually. That's one thing I've learned over these 4 years. And so I appreciate that, but I do think more information is better for council, just so everyone's informed, including the public. Thanks.
Perhaps I can ask the city manager then that in the future, when we apply for grants, that a preliminary report be made to the council in terms of if the grant is accepted, what it really means, the implications, and whether there might be ongoing costs to the city in the acceptance of a grant in the future that would carry us over to other years or for the rest of this year, or whether our budget would accommodate whatever obligations the grant would incur upon the city for the year and ongoing. If you think that's something that your department can sort of help us with.
Yeah, we've to that point had sessions now with our executive leadership team about the grant process internally of how we vet through that. I imagine that the culmination of that, once we fine tune that, will result in a policy of how we handle these things going forward. So we are working on improving our processes.
Okay, thank you. What is the pleasure of the council?
I'll propose a motion to accept the CTFGP grant acceptance for from the 2026 Cannabis Tax Fund grant focused on the DUI emphasis within the city.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? This motion. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Scazola.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Okay. That concludes that item of business. We now move to item number 10. There is no unfinished business. We now go to council committee reports, and we do have item 11.1. This is the review of council member actions on June 10th, 2026. I'll ask the city manager to make a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This is a response to a council request to agendize this item from the June 10th meeting, and hopefully this report meets that need. As the report indicates, there was an oral communication on June 16th by the POA president regarding a council member that had an interaction with the POA and members of the POA at the community center. The staff report highlights the statement of facts associated with this and an attempt to provide the council some clarity of what happened. In the public oral communications on June 16th, it was asserted that there was a POA association meeting being conducted at the community center, and that the concern was the interactions of a council member in close proximity to that meeting certainly raised questions of whether or not that affected the negotiations or discouraged the negotiations. And I tried to set forth the facts that I believe are true in the discussion point of the agenda. There's several bullet points that sets those forth. And I'm not going to read those all, but what is relevant, I think, and important is that there was a council member that had an interaction at the community center that evening of June 10th. But is my belief that the council member did not have any knowledge that the POA is meeting or conducting labor negotiation meetings at the community center, because our negotiating team, which includes me and our assistant city manager, did not know of that meeting. So I do not believe that information was available to the council member. I do believe that it was reasonable that when someone sees several police cars, that it was reasonable to assume that there was a call for service and a concern for what was happening at the community center. And I set forth some additional facts in the report, but probably more importantly, that the POA negotiations has now been wrapped up this evening with the council's approval of that MOU on consent calendar this evening. So is my best belief there was no intention, knowledge, or interference with those negotiations. And I'm certainly able to answer questions from the council regarding that incident.
Thank you. Councilmember Scazola.
Yeah, just to probably end a easy question, I just want to state for the public record that the report was accurate in determining that the council member in question, that was me. And as stated in the report, I was not aware of that meeting, certainly not that it was a union meeting. Simply was concerned, as I think most others would be when they see half a dozen police cars with engines running, no officers in sight. Is there some kind of emergency going on? So once it was determined that there was no emergency, I just walked home. That's the story. That's it, guys.
Thank you. Any other comments? I believe any further action is necessary. And so I think we'll just, did you want to say something? I'm sorry. Any member of the public wish to comment on this matter? No one online? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we'll move on now to council committee reports, the routine report of members of the city council on various boards and committees that they serve on. Does anyone have a report? Councilmember Lopez?
Sure. I'm happy to kick us off. My report mainly will be about the VTA Board of Directors meeting. We came back from our summer recess, which was about 2 months, and met on a number of items, including the discussing the BART Silicon Valley project. We also had a response of what you may have seen, grand jury report on governance around the BART Silicon Valley project, including while containing some factual inaccuracies in the report, which were discussed. Overall, what I agree with, stressing the need for greater transparency, accountability, financial transparency, which I certainly agree with and fully support for that project. So as usual, happy to discuss with any colleagues or members of the public who wish to have more information for such a large and impactful project. So we had that meeting, as well as our meeting of the BART Silicon Valley committee itself, which is an oversight committee for that project, and where we further discussed and refined the recommendations in our response. So the response to the grand jury report will be formally adopted by the directors at the September meeting. And by the way, also to share that response with staff as well, if it is relevant. To that was mainly it for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Hines.
Yeah, thank you. We had the National Night Out the other day, and I had the honor of making it out to 5 of them. Hammond Park, Moreland, Downtown, Four Seas, and Campbell Village. All of them had great programs and great attendance. The DCBA meeting is, I went to that, the fantastic set of events that are planned in the coming months. I also attended the San Jose District 9 Town Hall meeting on the missing middle housing. I provided my perspective on that. It was an interesting view that they provided. The Silicon Valley Youth program, SVYCA, very well attended and quite impressive. Excellent MC that was done. And then the small groups were administered or facilitated by our own Campbell representatives, quite very impressive. The Silicon Valley Clean Energy, we had a board meeting, a lot of discussion about the upcoming Bay Area Air District NOx program that is coming forward. Very impactful, and a lot of discussion around that. As the alternate to the VTA PAC, I participated in that, and I'll let the mayor talk about that program. Quite impressive as well. And I'm going to do a shout out to a new restaurant, Hono Izukawa. It's the sharing spirit and subs and sushi and small plates. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pardon, Councilmember Hines, you reminded me also of National Night Out and Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action, as well as attending our representative Congressman Sam Liccardo's office hours here at the Campbell Farmers Market as well.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Buddy.
I attended the Cities Association meeting last week, and we had an informative session on e-bikes. And there's some good information in the agenda packet on e-bikes. If you're interested, you can look at their website. We did appoint an interim executive director to fill the vacancy that's there, and it's Pamela Wu. And the last thing is I want to tag on to what Councilmember Hines said, that there's a upcoming air district regulation information meeting on August 31st on changes to the water heaters. And Cities Association is co-sponsoring it, so everyone's invited to attend. It's August 31st at 5:30 and at Sunnyvale.
Thank you. I had the opportunity last Saturday to. Yes. I had the opportunity last Saturday to attend the opening workshop of the new Youth Commission for this coming year. So I wanted to stop by and to welcome them and to assure them that we looked forward to their projects and their work, and wanted to assure them that their voice was very important to us. Their age group represents about 0.25% of the population of the city. So these kids work very hard and they sacrifice, and so I just wanted to make sure we gave them our assurance that they could contact any of us for questions or advice or anything of that nature. So did that. And then I did attend the VTA Policy Advisory Committee meeting recently, and just wanted to mention that our city applied for and received 3 grants from VTA in a special fund that for bicycle safety and bicycle lanes. So appreciate the Public Works Department for submitting the grant requests for funding to enhance our bike lanes and bicycle safety and so on, which we were successful. And then finally, I guess I'll ask Councilmember Lopez. It appears VTA is going to be moving the office on First Street for a long time to downtown San Jose. I guess that large building just off the freeway there.
Yes, that's right. And it should be a lot more accessible by public transit, which is a big benefit, consolidating what now is spread out among several different campuses onto one site as well.
So if there are no other items of business, I wanted to adjourn tonight's meeting in the memory of Todd Walter. Todd Walter was a member of our Historic Preservation Board. He was elected as the chairperson for the board for this year. And he unfortunately suffered from cancer and recently lost his battle. He was reported to be a very cheerful, upbeat person throughout his life. And his basic background was in architecture, which he enjoyed very much. And he initially went to work for his father's architecture business and then took it over eventually. But after a while, he decided he didn't want to be a manager anymore, but wanted to really return to the profession itself, which he did. And so he was successful there and was very well respected by his family. And unfortunately, he recently passed. So I would like to, in his memory, adjourn tonight's council meeting in his memory. There being no further business, I'd like to, first of all, thank everyone for being here tonight, members of the staff, members of the public, thank you. And I will adjourn the meeting. I should mention that, sorry. Our next series of meetings of the city council will not be held in this room. We are going to return and invade the new police building. And we're going to hold our meetings in the Emergency Operations Center, which is, of course, in the first floor, just as you enter the new police building for the month of September. So thank you all.